Amy, did you hit it? Oh. I'd like to call the December 19th, 2022 Board of Safety meeting to order. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first up is the approval for the November 21st, roll calls. Sorry. Amy?
Patrick Moran,
Here.
Robert Kometz,
Present.
Raymond Paradiso,
Here.
Brian Daniel,
Here.
Chief Flores,
Here.
Chief Leduc.
Here.
Our liaison, Mike Schilling, is absent. Attorney Decker
Here.
and Town Manager Joe Wizawani is absent.
Okay. Now I would like to go for the approval of minutes for November 21st. I need a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Ray has made the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Rob. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we have a presentation for the Aftermath K-9 Grant Award. Sir?
I don't think he heard you.
They're ready for him, Shane.
We're ready,
Yeah,
we're
they're
ready for
ready
the
for 'em.
presentation?
You want to just state your name and just where you're from and what it's about real quick, and then we'll... Absolutely. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Stolzenberg. I'm the Senior Manager of the Law Enforcement Relations Division of Aftermath Services. I'm honored to be here tonight. My second time visiting your department for an award in our annual K-9 grant. Last year, St. John did itself proud as a honorable mention winner, and as we have seen many times in the past, that the momentum builds, and this year I'm glad they were a runner-up in their tier. Tiers are based on size for the K-9 grant, and in your tier, which is our smaller tier, you performed unbelievably. We had over 450 departments participate in this year's grant. We had 1 week of open voting, which I believe most of you participated in, and I'm sure using the various platforms, we took nearly 500,000 votes in 7 days. So your performance is just an exceptional example of how your department engages with the community, and it should be something that you should be very proud of. Aftermath is very proud to support your community in the ways it can, as well as you. I'm very proud to work for Aftermath. I'm a retired law enforcement officer myself, and there are a lot of places that say they back the blue, but Aftermath really does. And we're happy to be here. And I'd like to present the chief.
Sure. Thank you.
No.
Have at it.
Yes.
$1,000 check for the runner-up.
Trying to wait for the dogs to, look at me.
Whistle or something.
Storm. Storm.
Got it.
Look, they always want to eat me. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, sir.
I'll give you the real check there in a second.
Okay.
And I would just like to thank Aftermath for that award to the police department. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're always welcome. It's a beautiful city.
Thanks. Okay, so we have our monthly reports from November, and the fire chief is up first.
Same here.
For the month of November, we had a total of 136 patients. Of those 136, 81 were transported to ALS. 0 were transported to ALS 2. 16 were transported to BLS. Again, our lion's share of our patients do request to go to Franciscan Dyer, which is 38. Followed by 31 Franciscan Crown Point and 24 at Munster Community. We did generate a total of $109,000, and then monies received was $67,990. I'm going to go into the aging report that member Commence was asking for. I don't know if I'm going to read this, but Rob, did you see that included in your notes this time through?
I see it, yes. Thank you.
And then for fire calls, we had a total of 188, 2 in the town of St. John at the Crown Point address, 11 in town of St. John at the Dara address, 146 town of St. John with the St. John mailing address, 4 in the town of St. John with the Cedar Lake mailing address, and 11 in our contracted area in St. John Township, and a total of 14 calls for mutual aid. Thank you.
Chief, I have just a question.
Yes, sir.
Just for clarity purposes, the text on your monthly report refers to 138 EMS patient contacts, and your spreadsheet report says 136, so I don't know which one's correct. You might want to update that.
Sorry, Rob, I was trying to follow.
So on the front, under monthly reports, you reference 138 EMS patient contacts, and in your report, it shows 136 patient contacts.
Did I say 138?
You referenced 136, but you have 138 here in the text.
I see. Okay,
So
we will
I'm
check
assuming
the
the 136 is the correct one. And then
136 is correct.
one other question, what is the dormancy account that's got $13,500?
On the aging reports,
Yeah,
so dormancy accounts are accounts that either are with the attorney. So if you look at those, we have a few attorneys that we have been working with. So Austin, Kuiper, Citus, most of those are either have been told to write off or hold.
so these are more than likely write-offs. At the end of the year.
Depends. So there's the people have liens, and some of these have been out there for a while. Like Attorney Austin, we have not been using his services for 5 to 6 years, and we still have accounts with them. So it's very cumbersome to try to explain. There's just some at different attorneys in different stages of litigation that even beyond me, and I think Adam could
Right.
probably beyond Adam, because Adam's not part of this, but Adam would be able to explain better
So
if he had the
this-
information.
I'm assuming this is not the full report because I'm seeing in total 121,000 in the 181 day plus column. But if I look, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 items that don't come anywhere near $121,000.
This is, so when I sent you the report before, this was the only built-in report that we have. So if you have other things that you're looking for, I'm welcome for suggestions on that, but this is a built-in report from our,
I'm just looking to see what constitutes, unless that's not your total down there, 121 self-pay. What makes up that $121,000?
over 181 days.
Yeah. That appears to not be the total. That just appears to be self-pay, 121,000 in the 181 plus day column.
Yeah,
And what are we doing to collect that money?
we send them to the attorney. We have multiple different avenues that we go through. So we do 30, 60, 90. We reach out to them. We send them letters, certified letters. We go to court. Most of the people that do go to court settle and pay before that. A lot of these are old accounts that were there before us. And to be honest with you, I don't know this side of it. This is Amanda's
Okay.
ball, so I'd love to sit with you and her so she could explain better.
Yeah,
'cause
I
this
would
is
just-
to be honest with you, way above me. I don't collect the money.
There's 121,000 in self-pay over 181, but we don't have any detail on that. So maybe if you could just ask her and, email me
Absolutely.
just to see what's in that number.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, Police Department?
Okay, from November 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2022, the members of the St. John Police Department logged 20,307 miles and responded to 558 law incidents. The investigation of these incidents led to 26 arrests with 52 charges being filed. There were 246 traffic citations issued along with 330 written warnings for a total of 576 citations being issued during the month. Vehicle thefts totaled 0, other thefts totaled 3,620, and recovered property totaled $798. And at the bottom there, you'll see what that's referencing. All right, that's it for now.
Okay, old business, Fire Department?
Just an update on our AFG grant. That's the grant we got for the SCBA. We did a in-house evaluation with Dyer Fire Department with 3 different brand packs. We're waiting to meet as a group. We were technically going to meet on the 16th. We're still going to try to do that, but we may be pushing it to later in the month. This is federal funds that we received, like I said, for our SCBAs, so we're close to making a decision, but we haven't pulled that trigger yet, so we all can meet as a group. My next thing is the open position update. You did give me permission last month to offer 2 jobs to the next 2 people on our candidate list. So the next person on our candidate list was candidate number 7. He did accept, and he's a lateral transfer. He will be starting officially on the 31st with the town. His first shift date is the 2nd. Candidate number 5 was the next person. He did accept, but did rescind his offer while he was in the perf process for whatever reason. Went to candidate number 2 after that. He accepted an offer at another fire department and declined, and went to candidate 11, who has accepted the position, just had his perf physical last Friday. It was on Friday. We're waiting to hear back from his physical and his psych exam to move forward.
Start also on the 31st is starting day.
It's so the way the perf process works, once we get the paperwork back, we have to have a local pension board meeting. Once we have the local pension board meeting, we have to approve it, then it goes back to the state, and there's a meeting that they have to have. It really depends on how often they meet. So I'm thinking best bet we could probably get him in February. If we get him any sooner, that'd be great, but I'm realistically speaking, February would be a good timeline for him. And then the other 2 that I had were just stuff from last meeting that I just haven't had a chance to sit with President Moran to get the support letter and verbal recommendations to the council for the territory and or the SAFER grant. So we still have some time on that, so I left it there. That's all I have for old business.
Okay, Police Department?
Just a quick update on the corporal promotion process. The test will be January 3rd. I'm not sure if Deputy Chief Demeter relayed to you. We have 5 officers that put in for it. So we're scheduled to get that done January 3rd. And then once we get that done, we'll have the interview dates and we'll forward the team again.
Okay, thank you. New business, Fire Department?
So I have a gentleman from K2M Design online. I don't know if we could see, and he could hear us. He could hear me. Awesome.
I don't know if you can hear me. Right now.
So basically, we've been working on with K2M and DS Architecture to do a feasibility study for an update to our current station. We're quickly growing out of it. There's unused space, so upstairs that actually looks at this building is all undeveloped. So we're looking to try to get a bigger day room, a kitchen, more sleeping area downstairs, a clean gear storage. And this is kind of what K2M and DS Architecture will talk about. So I'll throw it on over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay, but I'll try to speak clearly. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to talk with you guys tonight. My name's Eric Prose, working with K2M. I'm an employee of DS Architecture. We collaborate a lot. So we bring expertise in the fire department design industry. And K2M has an office there in Indiana that we'll be doing the project out of, hopefully. But like the chief said, essentially we're looking at a number of different areas for improvement for the project. And what this first feasibility study will do will give us kind of a laundry list of different areas of the project that we can look at, and as well as a price that'll go along with that. So our goal here is just to sort of get all of the needs addressed. Safety and security is number one, kind of convenience and efficiency being next, and then we'll have kind of some wants on the list as well. So our goal will be to prioritize those the best we can, and of course try to be creative and find ways to get as much accomplished for the budget as possible. We prepared a proposal for you guys just to kind of get the ball rolling here. The idea is that it would take roughly 8 weeks from start to finish. So we'll get started, have plenty of time for feedback and input from the group here, and wrap that up in about 8 weeks. And the goal would be to get that in before March. As we understand, that's a kind of a deadline for a grant that we want to make sure we have information in your hands to attach to that grant application so that it can be as specific as possible. Had a chance to walk through your facility a couple times, and really excited for the opportunity to work with you guys. So happy to answer any questions. I could rattle on all day about how much I love working with fire stations and you guys. But if you have any questions, I'm happy to address those. But hopefully, I have a chance to meet you guys in person someday soon.
I did have a question for the fire chief. I noticed there's a lot of references to the police department upgrade, such as the range and all that stuff in this proposal. So are you working with the police chief on this, or?
Yeah, so Chief Flores and I have spoken about this, and it's so the extra space isn't just the fire departments. We share that space. So before we even went to this, we talked about it, and one of the things that Chief Flores and I want to step on his toes was looking at is getting some offices downstairs or upstairs in that annex area. Downstairs, yeah, we would love to. Well, not we. I think Chief Flores would love to have the range there, but we're not sure if that's feasible. So this is looking at the building as a whole and a few things that we can do for it. One of the things that Eric did mention that I think is important that I did fail to mention is we're going to plan to use the EFG grant this time around for clean gear storage. The town did secure AFG funds, COVID funds for us for new gear. That's a huge investment, so I don't want to keep our new gear in the diesel fumes out in the bay. So if we could get a clean gear storage to keep that gear for longer to protect the investment of the ARPA money that they're letting us use for our gear is one of the ideas for this. So that's what Eric kind of said with the grant. If he could we could work in a clean gear storage in our current space. It protects the life of that gear, makes the gear longer. We're then valuing the money that the town's given us and making a longer lasting dollar there. So that was a big point that I forgot.
So, sir, is Eric, right? So this
Yes, sir.
proposal,
Yep.
This proposal is just to basically come in and just design and give cost estimates for the improvements that both agencies are requesting then?
That's right. Yeah, and I think probably what we'll do, we've had a chance to meet a few times with Chief LeDuc and, get a little understanding of how this all works. But I think our kickoff meeting where we get both chiefs together and really talk about the vision for the project, make sure that we're listening to all the stakeholders. That'll be our first step. But as you mentioned, this is really just to kind of define the scope and get a good budget for what this will look like. And then we'll come back and if we get a contractor on board, we'll figure out the right way to deliver the project on the back end. How far we take our drawings. If you've got a contractor there locally that you work with, that you trust, a lot of times we can speed up the process of actually doing the project if we have them on board. Or if you'd like to competitively bid it, we can go that route as well. So lots to talk about, but really the first step is just to identify those opportunities for improvement and kind of put a price tag to what that would look like. So that should give you some idea of where the project could go. So we'll take it to, I don't know, if you had to put a percentage to it, 10, 15% of the overall, we'll get the concept kind of defined. And then depending on what we end up doing, we'll have to come back and provide a little bit more detail there on exactly what we're going to do. So, if the shooting range, for instance, is a component we want to put in, there'll be obviously a lot of thought that goes into ventilation and security of all that. So, but if that's not part of the scope, then we'll direct our attention somewhere else. So that's sort of the first step here.
Well, will you be doing estimates on a range, or I'm trying to figure out what all this is going to entail.
Mr. President, I have a comment on that,
Okay.
if you will. We're working on our 5-year plans currently right now, and I met with the town manager a couple days ago. And discussion was had about that range downstairs. And he told me to move forward getting pricing to get that finished out as a range, so we can try to get that worked into the 5-year plan. So, two of my firearms instructors are looking into that as we speak. They did contact one company, so we're gonna try to get 3 bids to see the price compare, of course, and then we're gonna submit those to the town manager to possibly try to get that in our 5-year plan.
Yeah, it would be great. I know on the tour of your
Excellent.
station, that's a perfect area down there for.
And that's what it was built for
Range,
the
yeah.
range, yeah.
Yeah, and then the upstairs is like totally could be used. It's amazing how big that upstairs is up there too, so. So Chief, you're just looking for a support.
Yeah, this would take council action. Town Manager Wizawati suggested that after we met with Eric and associates from K2M, that he come present to you guys, so you guys are on board, understand the concept and the idea. And then, I don't think it's on the next council's agenda, next meeting, but probably in the future, that maybe in January and that next meeting, that this would be presented to them as well. But we want support and have comments from you guys before we move forward.
And as for Eric, I'm assuming you've done police departments and fire departments. Can you tell me
Absolutely.
like how many you've done, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. So our firm's been around for about 35 years, and it's had a presence in a public safety arena for quite some time. Like I said, we have a partnership with K2M, and they have offices across the country, and they specialize in jail facilities, police facilities, not so heavy on the fire side. So that's where we come in, bringing some of that expertise. So over the past, I would say 10 years for myself, I've been with the firm for about 12, but had a chance to work on, dozens of these projects in various capacities. What we like to do a lot of times is come in on the front end and be kind of the subject matter expert, working with you guys, trying to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to, providing the latest and greatest thinking about safety and security and technology. And then we rely on other teams sometimes to do the back end documentation. So that way we have the chance to be a little more nimble, and sort of selfishly, we get to do more projects that way. We get a chance to get to meet a lot of new folks. But trying to think, we're working with the town of Cedar Lake, just down the road from you guys. We just wrapped up a schematic design package for them for a new fire station and a police station. So it's going to be sort of a civic campus, similar to what you guys have there, but it'll be 2 separate buildings on the same site. So that's one that we're looking to break ground on in April. Is kind of the target right now. We recently just wrapped up another project with the town of Merrillville. So we did a new kind of ground up idea for a new station for them out on the sort of south side of their town. And then another study to redo their Station 74. So that, I don't know if you guys are familiar or not, but that's an old facility that's it's certainly seen better days. So we did a study to figure out if that building was going to be best served to be added on to and renovated, or sort of start fresh and do it right the first time. So and my family's originally from the Merrillville area, so love working with you guys over on that side of the state, and welcome the opportunity to be involved in your community. So absolutely.
Anybody have any comments?
Yeah, so to be clear, so with the chiefs, it's going to kind of be some upgrade or some evaluation for the police department, some separate ones for the fire department, there's some shared spaces as well. Is that kind of what I'm getting from that?
Yeah, basically upstairs, they would make their day room, if you will, correct? And then on the other side of the room up there, they're going to provide like 2 or 3 offices there for us. We're going to try to use one of them like for evidence storage, a couple offices upstairs. So yeah, it's basically shared space between the 2 of us. There'll be a wall kind of separating police and fire, but obviously we can get in and out of there. But yes.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Eric, could you just explain the reimbursables lump sum fee? What is that for?
Yeah, that's probably to get over there a few times and spend a day or two, presenting to you guys, doing some field measuring. We were thankful to get the, existing set of documents from you guys, so that'll help us get started. But we always want to, verify that just because we have the drawing doesn't mean that's actually what's been built. So that'll be for meals, for travel, things of that nature while we're out there on site. But we rarely use all that, but it's just sort of our line item number that we put in the proposals. But that'll give us the ability to get over there, visit you guys a few times as needed.
Okay. Anybody else? Well,
It's great.
yeah, I've seen the building, I know it's very underutilized, and it has a lot of potential to be state-of-the-art, so I'd be all for, submitting a support motion to have the council, look at this and accept it. So-
I appreciate that.
So I'm gonna put forth a motion, this phase one pricing and reimbursables, so it's 15,000 for the concept design and 1,000, and this is this is a motion to support this contract and send it to the town council for their possible approval.
So I'll make the motion to pass a favorable recommendation of the design and the quote from K2M to the town council from the safety board.
Okay, I have the motion made by Rob.
I would second.
Okay,
I got a
Yeah.
question.
Oh.
Design has already been made for this?
No, this
Okay.
is
No,
for the
okay.
design
it's a
work.
contract to design.
Okay.
So I have a second by Brian. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
And just to add one more thing, guys, what I understood was that the council's meeting on the 29th, and I don't know if that would be the time that this would be put forward or not, but the 29th of December I have on my calendar to
Eric,
be available to do a similar presentation. So
I believe so. Town Manager Wizawati isn't here tonight, so I don't want to tell you for sure, and I don't know if
okay,
Councilman Schilling, you didn't get an agenda yet for that day.
Well, they closed out the agenda last Friday for things that were being added onto there, so
So it may,
it was in there before last Friday. It probably possibly can be put on the agenda for the upcoming meeting. If not, they'll have to go to the January meeting.
yeah, Eric, I'll confirm when I see Town Manager Wizawati next.
Sure.
Tomorrow, and I will let you know. He was aware of it, so I hope we made it on the agenda. If not, I will
Yeah.
let you know ahead of
it's
time.
not a big deal either way. The sooner we can get started, it gives us a little bit more breathing room to go through the process at a good pace. But if it has to wait a couple weeks, it's not the end of the world.
Absolutely.
But,
I'll be in contact with you tomorrow at some point.
sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Absolutely. Great to meet you guys. Looking forward to running this project out. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
I'd like to forego, so I had a pension-based discussion on there. Basically, that was something that we're working with Cinder Dalton, Joe, and then the council on. So I'm waiting for, I think, a legal opinion on that. So really no action here. Long story short, it's basically trying to, right now, our pension base is not based on all the hours we work, so we're just trying to make on all the hours we work. We have built-in FSLA time. We're trying to get that built into our pension base, long story short. But as soon as that comes to something where I could talk more articulately to you guys on, I will let you know. But right now, I threw it in there hoping that I had a legal opinion from the council's attorney, but I don't have that yet, so I do not want to put the cart before the horse. And then, late addition, I'd like to introduce Kevin Toth, who's in the audience. He is the Hanover Township trustee. Mr. Toth has been in communication with myself and Town Manager Wizawati about possibly having the town of St. John Fire Department offering some coverage to some parts of Hanover Township. He'd like to present and talk
Hang
to
on a
us.
sec. Amy, do we need to amend the agenda then? Okay. Adam, do I need to do anything other than verbally? We don't need a motion on amending the agenda?
Well, you could take it under public comment. That's on the agenda, and Mr. Toth is certainly a member of the public, and that wouldn't require necessarily an adjustment or an amendment to the agenda to still allow him to speak. He would just have to speak after the police department.
Why don't we do that?
Okay,
Just take
that
them
sounds
under-
good.
We'll just take them under open.
Sir, we're gonna, after we wrap up, you'll be up. Okay. Okay, police department, new business?
Okay, as you know, we went through the process to establish a new hiring list, and we were authorized by the council to add 2 officers. So we presented the list to you, to President Moran, and I'm looking to get approval for conditional offers for candidate number 30 and 26, which is ranked number 1 and 2 on the list, to move forward, and as long as they pass their medical and psychological and all that good stuff, then my anticipation is trying to get them sworn in at your January meeting if we can meet all those deadlines. So I'm asking the board for favorable recommendation or to approve conditional offers to the two
What was the
potential
numbers again,
candidates.
Chief?
It's 30 and 26 are the candidate numbers.
Okay. So, the chief is requesting our support and a favorable recommendation to offer conditional employment to candidate 30 and candidate 26. Do I have a motion for that?
So move.
I'll second.
Okay, so Rob has made the motion and Ray has made the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
I just had one other thing that I wanted to bring up. It wasn't on the agenda, but just to inform you publicly, with our officer-involved shooting, we've had a lot of people asking what's going on with it. So just an open meeting and for the public, for whoever's watching. It is being investigated by the Lake County Sheriff's Department. I spoke to their chief the other day, and they're hoping to wrap their investigation up like any day now. So once they're done with it, it'll go to the prosecutor's office, they'll review it and decide what they're going to do from there, and then they'll give us the green light when we can release all the information. So as soon as that happens, I get the green light from them. We'll release the information that the public's asking for, and also I'll keep you informed as things progress from here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it, right? Public comments, sir, you can step up and state your name.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Kevin Tolt. I'm the Hanover Township trustee. I think Kevin explained it a little bit. We had some conversations, and Kevin suggested that we bring it to you guys for a discussion, I guess, so you know what we're talking about. But we were, or I should say, I would like to have you guys cover some of the areas of Hanover Township, like you guys cover certain areas of St. John Township now under contract for fire service and EMS. Specifically, at this point, we're talking about everything, or the area that is north of 109th, which would be the area, like, most of my area would be the Emerald Crossing area, if you guys are familiar with that.
Yes.
And it's kind of like on an island over there. It's surrounded by St. John. So currently I have Cedar Lake, which covers it, which has for many, many years. But with it getting more and more covered by you guys, or I should say surrounded by St. John, and you guys cover most of that area anyway, it just makes more sense at this point that St. John covers it, because you can get there a whole lot quicker too than Cedar Lake can. I mean, they're looking at 10, 12 minutes to get there from Cedar Lake, if not longer, depending on the weather. So I do know you guys have contracts now, like I do. So I guess I'm just asking that you guys put your blessing on it, that we can sit down and have some discussions about contracting with your department to cover those areas.
How, as far as taxation-wise, your residents in that township, how would that work? Right now, they pay taxes for fire service?
Yeah, not in unincorporated areas, they pay everything is paid to Hanover Township.
Okay, and then they disperse the...
Then we disperse that through, we're the entity that signs the contracts or has to provide that service for them. So we provide it. I don't have a department or anything like that, so we provide it through contracting with local departments for that service.
And I know this would be something that needs a lot of discussion, but, do you have the manpower that could make that happen, just off the top of your head?
So the answer is we always need manpower. So I don't know if Mr. Toth, and I know that the council's been trying, I don't know anyone in the area has the adequate manpower for police or fire. It's something in that small area that we could probably do. We'd have to be compensated somehow for it, and that's a council thing with Mr. Schilling and advisement from you gentlemen. So that's kind of more of the reason why Trustee Toth is here.
You used the word probably. That's not what we really want to hear.
What you're talking about is the area from
south of 101st down there to 109th,
Yes.
and from the state line over to where the town now
Yes.
has its borders.
Yes, and most of that is already incorporated St. John, so we're talking about basically just the Emerald Crossing and a little bit of the corridor, I
That's,
believe, on
that's the area
101st.
behind the new mobile station closer to the state line there.
Right, yeah, right on the state
Okay.
line there.
My only concern about that is the distance from the station.
Well, you gotta
Especially
understand.
especially for, I understand that. But right now, that's somebody else's area. It becomes our area, it becomes our responsibility to get on an ambulance call to try and get there within 5 minutes. And from where this station is located now to that area is one of the furthest distances, if not the furthest distance in this town.
Yeah, I understand that.
So that is my biggest concern, is the liability of getting there timely. I know they haven't had many fires over that way. And if you go down past Emerald Crossing, if you go down to 109th, you're gonna go down south of Emerald Crossing, down the state line. You know, it even makes it a further distance. And we get an ambulance call down there, and they gotta come down and either come down 93rd to White Oak to 101st and cut across, or White Oak down to 109th, or go 41 down. And are they gonna be able to make it there in the given time if you got somebody down with a heart attack?
Well, you gotta understand, that's why I'm here, because of the situation that we currently have.
I know.
Okay, we're talking probably 12, 15 minutes coming from Cedar Lake, and now Cedar Lake says, the guy just said a little while ago, they're building a new fire station on the east side of the lake, which is gonna take them even further away from my township. And it's my responsibility to try to do the best that I can for the people in my unincorporated areas. So that's why I'm coming to you guys, because you'll cut that time in half even where you're at now.
I understand. I just worry about, in some respects, and believe me, I spent 36 years as a paramedic for a fire department. So I sympathize with you, and your people do deserve good response time. I'm just worried about any liability issues that can happen for this town. That's.
Sir, could I just ask you, how many residents are in your area, would you say?
Or in what?
How many residents are in your particular area of concern here for us?
Do you have an idea?
Just in Emerald Crossing you talking about?
No,
Well, just how many of the residents would this affect?
Just basically Emerald Crossing.
So
What'd you come up with, Kevin? 400 homes or something?
There was 400 some parcels on a quick check. Now, again, that was me just down and dirty going on GIS and cutting and trying to get a count. It wasn't a specific. And some of those parcels, and Jason could probably help me with this here, some of them are not used. So 400 would be a good home or business. There's a lot of business there as well. And Trustee Tol's right. We do go down that road already. We cover on the north side. That is part of the St. John Township and also part of town there.
I always thought that was Dyer over there. I don't know.
It's unincorporated.
It's Dyer, but it's unincorporated St. John Township, so.
Guess who gets it?
Where Emerald Crossing is, that, you guys probably already know it, it runs down 101st.
Yeah.
On the north side of 101st, St. John takes that, well, Kevin can tell you too, I don't have to tell you, but St. John already does that fire protection for the St. John Township trustee on the north side of 101st. He's talking about on the south side, where he's circling there now.
Is it like the businesses like that Santa Fe and
Yeah.
Sheepdog?
Yeah.
That's all?
That's unincorporated.
Oh, I
Hanover Township.
did not know that.
Yeah, there's parts of it that are unincorporated, but then a lot of it is incorporated around it.
Entire mailing address, whether in St. John or Hanover Township, but the dividing line for the townships is 101st.
Yeah. You're probably
And then
not.
all that area in pink that's Hanover Township, but that's incorporated into our town, so we take care of it because it's incorporated into our town. I think, one thing Emerald Crossing should look into doing is maybe annexing into town.
I was wondering about that,
because
yeah.
that would provide us the funding, more so than the township can provide us.
Well, no, I truly believe Emerald Crossing needs to ask for a friendly annexation.
Yeah.
Will we pick up the school and the church down there just north of 109th Street also, as well?
Yes. In this proposal, yes.
Yeah, because there's a school and a church in there.
And you don't see an undue stress on the department if we were to,
So I don't have the exact call numbers for that area of Hanover, so I don't want to say, so if it's anything like,
Right now, I can tell you this, annually in
There's
unincorporated
another
Hanover
school
Township,
north-
there's
just
only a
north of
couple
that.
hundred calls.
Right there.
A
That church
year.
has also got
Yeah,
a school.
and that's in the entire unincorporated areas, which includes Emerald Crossing and everything going south. Okay,
And then
so
police handles your, does the sheriff handle your police issues over there?
in Emerald Crossing,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, anything unincorporated is covered by the sheriff's department.
okay.
And then, like I said, then we're designated with having to provide or somehow provide the fire and EMS services for that area. And like I said, I do believe Emerald Crossing needs to annex into St. John. But that is, again, that's up to their homeowner association to do that. I mean, we're not talking about doing this, that, we're not going to offer you something. I want to have contract talks with you. So we are willing to pay, and there are things that we can provide for these services. If you guys probably saw it, I don't know if you heard it or not, but I bought in this last year, I bought a 3,000 gallon tanker for Cedar Lake. So that was over $300,000. So I can, buy equipment. That's a little easier for me than coming up with cash because we don't have, our tax base is not that huge. So, but I mean, right now I contract with Cedar Lake for the entire unincorporated area. And the only thing I can give them, which is my fire fund and my EMS fund, which comes out to total is only like $150,000. But I do have fire Q money. I've got other money that is available, like I said, for equipment, for anything. We do buy things occasionally. Cedar Lake, I own a whole lot of their stuff. So, I mean, I own their Cascade system. I own their commercial washer and dryer. I own 2 of their fire trucks. So we we can provide stuff. So we're not asking you just to do it. We're asking, that we will cover the expenses that we can.
I don't have any problem in meeting with the chief. Mike, is this something that the board?
Well, something that you're gonna have to sit down with, the chief's gonna have to sit down and the town manager and go over the funding mechanism of how we're gonna get funded to go out there,
Yeah, so.
Well, like I said, I can.
But it's gonna take a lot of ironing out the details.
Well, I can give you, like I said, there's money I can
Well,
get that I
obviously
can
now
put in a
they call
contract.
Like we're going out there anyways, so.
And then the ambulance calls, you're going to get, you do charge fees, so you're going to get reimbursement for ambulance calls.
I don't know. You haven't had many fires out that way, have you?
No.
It's more ambulance calls than
It's
fires
mostly
right
new
now at this
construction,
point.
yeah.
Well, new construction doesn't make a difference. You can have a fire in new construction
And
very easily too.
I can tell you this for one reason why we've actually talked about this. I think I've talked with Kevin for probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years now about that we've tried to talk about. I talked with your ex-chief about it too. And Cedar Lake, basically, like I said, is a long haul for them, but they did have a medic, actually, their head paramedic, who lives in Emerald Crossing. And he would answer a lot of the calls there himself out of his car. But he's retiring now, too, so I don't have that cushion anymore either out there. So I'm just trying to do the best for those people out there. And you guys are the best, even though you think it's far, think where Cedar Lake's fire station is at. It's a lot longer.
Well, there's no harm in having the conversation and seeing if it works for the benefit of both parties.
No, it will.
I think that's a good idea. Actually, we've got the high school out there with, if you're 10, 15 minutes away from Cedar Lake.
Kevin can tell you this, I'm a retired firefighter, 30 years, I was district chief in East Chicago, so I know what's going on. It's not that I don't know the business. Oh, we've talked about this before I've only been the trustee for 4 years, so I just got reelected. But even when I got on, we had to settle some issues even about the 109th corridor, about the schools and stuff. When I got on, it was only, we're going to wait for Cedar Lake to get to those schools. And I said, this is a bunch of crap. My grandkids go to Lincoln Elementary. I mean, I didn't want to wait for Cedar Lake to get there. I want St. John going too. So we set up some things too, where there are some mutual dispatches now through, that they're automatically dispatched along with Cedar Lake, just because it's the right thing to do. I mean, so like I said, I would just, if we could sit down, we could talk. I could see what we can do. There's a lot of things we can.
Well, I think Brian, it sounds.
Yeah, I just had a question for Chief Flores. Would this be something that would spill over and affect you in any way with the police services?
No, that's all the sheriff's department, even if they were working with them. I mean, we do assist them, the fire department on calls, so, I mean, if they get dispatched a call, we do go just in case we're needed.
Right, that's what I was getting at. If they had some kind of situation where they needed to clear something before they could go in there, would that be something your men would
Yeah,
do with
we
this?
could
So
help them, yeah, for sure.
under mutual aid?
The only thing that would affect Chief Flores too, though, if they asked for a friendly annexation, the Emerald Crossing subdivision, and became part of the town, then that would help.
Yeah.
But right now, and I'd say this to any of the police officers ever here, but they help us immensely on any call, even if it's outside of town. If they're not busy and we need the help, they're there. So.
Well, sir, I think we're all in agreement. You can talk to the chief and put some numbers together, and we can have some further discussions about it. You know, I don't know if you know what our role here is. I mean, we can only make, recommendations. We can't make anything as far as money or anything like that. But from what you're telling me right now, it sounds, good. To cut that response time by sometimes maybe 10 minutes would be unbelievable. I could see that being a huge benefit. And then maybe you could buy them a fire truck or something.
We would so
Say more names.
Trustee Toth and I talked about that, but we don't have a tanker truck. So if this did come to fruition, it'd be something that we would talk about. We don't have mobile water to go out there, so we would need something of that sort. So it would definitely be part of my talks, and Kevin and I mentioned that before. So
All right, are you cool with Mike, with me meeting with the fire chief and this gentleman? Just
I would like to meet with him, too.
And Ray, whoever on the, I guess we can't have more than two. You're cool with meeting with them and discussing it further?
Take the town manager with you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we're on public comment, so.
Comment, yep.
Yeah, so we're still good, right?
It's not an action item, it doesn't
Yeah.
require any action.
Okay. All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes public comment, and I'm going to suggest a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion adjourned by Ray and seconded by Brian. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.